Hey everyone, it's Louise. I'm continuing on with the bloom recipe, following up from the other day when I did the 4 tiles, and this was tile number 3. I'm going to use this color combination on the black base to see what I come up with. So with that, I'm going to share with you the sequence that I had, and then I'm going to lay my base down and we'll go down to the canvas. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I don't usually record me laying down the base just because it's not like you need to watch me do that. So here's my color combination today. I'm going to be blowing it out with this Berta hairdryer. And let's see what we get. So I'm going to double time through most of this and voice over as I need to. You've seen me do this before, laying down the paints and blowing out, and for me, I like to blow out from the middle and then add my other 2 blooms to the ends. But my intention throughout this is not necessarily to do a major deconstruction. It's to mostly keep the blooms fairly intact and see what we come up with. One of the things I talk about here in this section is I've been on the bloom recipe for about 5 or 6 weeks now, and for me that's like a lifetime, because when I first started all this back in the spring, I was jumping from one technique to the next like every week or so. Wasn't getting through all my paints, I was making a mess and not really diving in deep and learning, because I wanted to get on to something else so I can try to absorb as much as I could. So what I've started trying to do is extend my periods between techniques, because for me, I like a variety of techniques, and the 3 techniques that I really seem to like the most are the Deconstructed Bloom and Blooms, the Cloud Pearl Pour, and the Open Cup or Flip Cup. Now, each of these 3 techniques require all kinds of different paints, different consistencies, different formulas. So what was happening to me early on is I was trying to go from one thing to the next, and I was just getting confused because I didn't know which recipe I needed for this or that. But now I'm trying to stay on a technique for a little while, so I really dive a little bit deeper into it. But I have been having fun with this, and I'm trying to get off this black base because I just don't want to have that same container sitting around. So anyway, that was a little bit about some of the things I talked about in this section. But I don't know if that negative space that's closest to me, where my left hand is, has been catching my eye, so I wanted to add some color, actually the pearl, to it, to break up the space a little bit. It just felt like it needed something there. One of the things that I'm realizing is that it seems as though the cell activator, which is a new batch today, is a little bit too thin. And the funny thing is, it was really about 2.5 to 1 Floetrol to paint, so it was already thicker to start with. But the white especially seemed to just kind of run and not really hold a shape, and that was bothering me. So lesson learned. If you're going to do a test tile, you've got to do a test tile with every component you're going to be painting with, including cell activator, because it doesn't necessarily work the same from one batch to the next. And then I just keep embellishing a little bit here, and I'm actually trying to cover the black a little bit. I got some thinner spots and sections. Another thing that I think I learned from this that is working against me in the definition toward the center of the bloom is the fact that I put the pearl down last. So it just doesn't seem to pop very much from the center, like maybe the aquamarine or even the blue would have. Now my favorite thing to do, popping bubbles. So that's a wrap. I'm not thrilled with this guy, but I did learn a lot. Make sure that whatever I use for my test tile is what I take into the painting, and probably not to use pearl last on a deconstructed bloom going forward. I do have another video coming out probably tomorrow where I used up the last of the Colorplace, and I'm going to call it Breaking All the Rules and Acts of Desperation. You'll see. It's actually kind of funny. Take care, everyone.